This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. I'm joined by Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. He is always got something going on, and you're sitting still. I want to picture a snapshot of this right now. He's not going in a million different directions. Welcome back. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Let's talk about the initiative that you are a co-chair, vice chair. Correct me if I'm
Vice chair, I think, is
the transformation in state government here. I want to spend most of our time talking about transformation today. What are we transforming in government? What are you guys looking at?
Well, first of all, this is a group that the governor put together. I appreciate the governor putting me on the team. Mike Carroll of Fort Smith is the leader. He's chairing this, and Amy Fetcher is one of the governor's staffers, doing a ton of good work on this. Basically, it's something that this is really near and dear to my heart. I love this because basically we are looking at all of government, any part of state government, any and every, and we're looking at it anew to say, why do we do things this way? Is there a better way? Is there duplication? Is there technology and innovation that will bring this process into 2017, or do we need to do it completely different, right? The point, I believe, is to take the money that's taxpayer dollars and spend it more wisely and do more. So it's sort of counterintuitive, but I believe you can do more with less. Not do less with less.
If you do it smartly and
if you do it smartly, right.
So apply this to me, because DHS has come out with some recommendations, and you were part of a big review group that looked at some potential changes there. So kind of give me an example, just draw one element of some of that recommendation to highlight what you're talking about.
Ultimately, the specifics will be given to the governor to decide what to do with these recommendations. But let me give you some examples. So we are looking last week, or the last weekend, the last meeting was at DHS. And so we're doing deep dives into some of these agencies. And this is not something, in my mind, and I think others agree, this is not a short-term deal. This is a long-term deal. We should always be looking to improve. And this could take years ultimately.
So there's no end result. There's not going to be a final product that's produced.
That'll be up to the governor. But I think everyone involved understands that you're not going to do in a year all the things that need to be done to transform state government. This is a multi-year, if not decade, of work to do. We will be giving some recommendations to the governor, but we're looking at things like this. For example, you're looking at Agency A that says, this is my mission, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then you talk to Agency B, and they say, this is my mission, this is what I'm supposed to do. And you look at them and you go, wait a minute, these sound almost identical or very much related. Why are these separate agencies? Why are they doing some of the same stuff? Why are we duplicating, right? And so that leads one to ask, should those be consolidated? Is there a better, more efficient way of organizing that? Let's take real estate. So I was with the governor of Tennessee about a month ago at a lieutenant governor's event, and he was talking about how they found $500 million in savings, which is not insignificant money, $500 million. And he said a big part of that was what we're doing, which is asking, why do we do this? He said he would approach every agency with the idea that, should this exist? Why does it exist? What should we do differently, if anything? In some instances, we're going to look at things and say, this is the way it should be done. In many others, we're going to say, we can do it a lot better in 2017 than in 1917 when it was started.
Is the goal to just save taxpayer dollars? Is the goal to deliver better government services to citizens?
Here's the way I lay this out, and I've been talking about transformation since 2014 when I ran. Number one, we have a moral obligation not to take people's money by force, taxes, and spend it any other way than wisely, right? we need to be good stewards of their dollars. So whether it's difficult or not, we should always be trying to improve upon state government. We don't have competitors in state government, right? There's only one state government. So we've got to really push to change. So number one, we have a moral obligation, spend taxpayer dollars wisely. Number two, we will actually deliver better services through innovation and technology and being smarter. Not fewer services, better services through the agencies. So taxpayer wins on that. People in need win on that. We all win on that. And thirdly, we'll save money doing it. So we're going to do more with less. Take that extra money, and the governor and the legislature can decide what to do with it. There are a lot of options. Tax reform is one, for example.
Well, let's get to tax reform there, because this is a chicken or the egg theory here. Do you find efficiencies in state government so that you can cut taxes? Do you cut taxes so that it forces you to find more efficiencies in state government?
I think the responsible thing to do is to find the savings through the transformation process. And again, this can't be a one-time deal. It needs to be, this board or task force may be one time. That's up to the governor, but it has to be a process that continues over the decades, over the years. It should be always in place where you're looking to spend money more wisely. Find the savings, and then you can not only make the tax code better, reform it, but you'll have the money available to reduce the taxes because government will spend less doing more. They'll do more with less.
So let's go back to the tax reform committee that's in process right now too. Do you think anything significant is going to change? There are a lot of political dynamics in this thing, and I think I've asked you before, is somebody going to trade higher property taxes for an income tax cut?
Well, look, I'm always an optimist, and we definitely need tax reform. We need a better, updated tax code, no question. A big part of that is, and I've said this before, it needs to be lower taxes. The way you get to that and have the flexibility to lower taxes, rearrange taxes, do all of that the way we really want to do it, the way you get there is you've got to find savings. Because if government is spending what government is taking in, then there's no surplus money to lower taxes with. So transformation, I describe transformation as the key that unlocks the door to tax reform, to highways and infrastructure, to whatever it is that you think money should be going to. A lot of that money's already in the government coffers, but we're spending extra money to do things what I call the old way.
So does tax reform, does the committee accomplish something significant?
I think that they will, I think that number one, it's good that they're having the discussion about what we ought to do. Number two, I think a lot of good ideas will come out of it. I'm optimistic on that. I think the degree to which we can lower taxes will depend in large part how much savings we can find. The savings are the key, because then what you're doing is you're creating a government that runs better but costs less to run. It's like replace your 77, I think Pintos were made in 77. If you were racing in NASCAR and you wanted to win and you had a 77 Pinto, it doesn't matter what you do to it, you cannot make it fast enough to win a NASCAR race. Yeah. So what you have to do...
And you don't want to get rear-ended.
You don't want to get rear-ended, blow up. So what you've got to do is have the new technology. You've got to have... So you can actually go faster. It'll be more efficient. You got to just replace the old with the new. And so I am optimistic that we can do that, find savings. The governor is allowing us a lot of leeway to look at just about everything. And I've mentioned the work of Amy and Mike. From Lean Six Sigma, which is a private sector, a great way of finding efficiencies and putting in systems that work better for taxpayers. Doing that, I mentioned earlier real estate. So we're looking at the real estate footprint of state government. What do we own? What do we rent? Does it make sense to have all these buildings rented separately in a particular place? Should they be consolidated? Is that better for the taxpayer in terms of the money? and accessibility and convenience. Let's look at all that. So there are lots of different things we can look at.
Last question for you, total curveball from what we're talking about, but I want to get your take on this. Steve Womack, Representative Steve Womack, being eyed to be the House Budget Chairman, possibly. What do you think? What do you think's the assessment of that?
He will be Budget Chair. He should be Budget Chair. Talked to him yesterday, and I said, Steve, I don't see anybody that's even close to you on this, and wished him well. I think he'll get it. I think he should get it. I think the good thing is he was elected in 2010 to Congress when I was. He understands how bad a problem the debt is. And it's a problem not just for the federal government writ large, it's a problem for states like ours because we are so federal money dependent. And we have got to get this spending, this debt under control. It's already biting us in ways that we don't, it's sort of like high blood pressure, sort of a silent killer at first until you're dead. Yep. And so we have got to deal with the debt issue. I think he'd be a great budget chair. Steve Womack will be the next budget chair.
All right, I'm going to take that to the bank. Tim Griffin said it. Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin, good to be with you.
Thank you.
All right. That's all. We'll see you next time for the next edition of Talk Business and Politics Daily. Thanks for watching.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members, and we want to continue that well into the future.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.